Join Charlie Malouf as he explores the personal journeys of Broad River Retail's very own memory makers. Welcome to Stories from the River.
Welcome to Stories from the River with Josh Stanley, Part 2. We're back, everyone. Hey, if you haven't listened to Part 1, press pause on this one. Go back and listen to that right now. Josh dropped some amazing nuggets on us and had an amazing story. And we really got into like the past few years of your history with Broad River. Josh, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
I really want to get into kind of leadership and knowing about what like makes you tick, right? So let's start with, you've worked for some amazing leaders. Tell us about the impact of some of the leaders that you've had and what you've learned.
Okay, so yeah, coming to Broad River, I had the opportunity to work with Kevin Kidman. Be zap, not sap, and what that means is just be the energy, right? You got to be bringing the energy every single day. Some catchphrases like head on a swivel and things like that, but just really teaching the art of P2I and being in a position to impact. Mm-hmm. That's really critical to the business and something that I learned. Seeing success from some of the different GMs and in the company and who I kind of compare myself to now, like Sam Van Giesen, David Walters, Matt Pittenaro. Just really being aware of them and taking cues from them, taking thoughts, taking ideas and different things that they do. That's kind of like the people I look at right now. And then obviously with Coach, when Stacy came in, it was the start of the pandemic. We kind of talked about that, but just his vision and knowing like this is where we're going to go and this is how we're going to get there, and like just this really trusting the process. Just some great opportunity to learn from him as well.
Awesome. So you what about before Broad River? I know you had some amazing leaders before Broad River. You want to talk about any of them?
Yeah, the biggest one, and I point to him all the time, and I'll make sure I send the link so you can watch this. But Rodney Bird was a district manager of mine at GameStop. He had come in after a previous district manager who I'd got along with well, and challenged me to be better. He just celebrated his 30th year at GameStop. Wow. He's been an incredible leader for them, but he challenged me, and I can go back to different points in my career and different things that he really called out opportunities for my leadership, opportunities for me to grow on, and not understanding it then, like, in my late 20s and early 30s, but now understanding it and really looking back on it fondly, like, this is what he was trying to do, and this is what I'm now trying to do and accomplish through that. And I shared it on Part 1, but I'll share it again. Like, the best piece of advice he gave me was just take care of your people and everything else, take care of yourself. And up to that point in my early 20s, and I was a shine light on me. Look at me, here's the spotlight. Like, look what we're doing. Look what I'm doing. And he really just really kind of nailed that focus. Just take care of your people, man. Everything that you're going to do will take care of itself. Everything you want to achieve will take care of itself. You just take care of your people. And that went to guests, that went to people inside my building, it went to corporate partners, it went to everybody. Just take care of the people around you and everything else take care of itself.
Yeah, it's worth repeating that advice because it's such good advice. So you've had the opportunity to really lead, mentor, guide, and direct fellow memory makers to see them grow, prosper, and thrive over the last few years. Can you share some of your favorite personal growth and development stories?
Yeah, I hit on them a little bit, but I want to touch on them just a little bit more. Tyler Bannerman. You hear people and you talk about work ethic, but like willing to walk to work. And then, hey man, like if you're really successful at this, if you just pay attention to these things and just work on these things, you can get what you want. And what are you trying to do? And teaching them, how to vision cast and goal set and plan. And then you go back and you look at, Jamaica as well, and someone who's talking about, before here and what money I was making now versus, and now having a car and a house and another child on the way, and different, just so many great things. And then taking it to Fayetteville, we talk about it all the time. It's kind of like the blessing and the curse, but like the team there is really motivated and driven and want to be successful and want to make as much as they can and accomplish all these things. But the curse out of that is that they always want to keep chasing more and always want to keep chasing more things. And so someone really successful like Holly White, she got her first house this year and changed out cars. And then, Adrienne Considine, she just crossed $2 million, and she's built
Special Forces' first $2 million riders.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She just hit $2 million, and then she's building a house. And Courtney Rising, another expert who's in the process of buying a house, and Anna Maria in the process of buying a house, and Melinda in the process of buying a house. And what that means for all these people, like that's what that's what we're trying to chase down and what we're trying to do for these people. And that's what I want to be a part of. And that's like any little bit of help I can do, any extra sales or advice or anything, that's what I'm excited to be a part of.
That's really cool. Besides all those wonderful folks who you just listed, who are you most proud of impacting and developing?
I would go back and, I haven't mentioned him here yet, but I would say like Brian Fuller. Taking over that Wilson team, and it had been winning, but he was new to Broad River and new to our company, and I'd been with the company a year and a half at that point. Just showing him like what the art of the possible was. I mean, when you think like professional, you look at that guy. You walk in, he like I mentioned day one, I wore the suit, I might have been overdressed. That guy wears a suit every single day, and it shows in everything he does. He's got notebooks, he takes notes about guests and following up, and he's got CXM, and he's just really dialed into the process. And I know he's working on working to become a GM for our company and continue to grow, and he's now a sales manager, and he became an expert and $1 million writer there. And he just had, it's someone I still communicate with today. I still reach out, still send little words of encouragement. He reaches out and sends little comments back, and just someone that's just doing it the right way, just following the process and having fun doing it. But that's someone that that's growing in that role.
Yeah, Brian's a special leader, special person, and he's got a bright future with us as well. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit and talk about legacy. This is kind of a little icebreaker, kind of get to know Josh Stanley at your core question for you. When you think about your legacy and how you'd like others to think of you, what 3 words would you want them to say about you? What 3 words come to mind that you'd like to have described you?
I'd say successful, I would say driven, and I would say caring.
All right. Successful, driven, and caring. Got it. Well, so far, Josh, I think you've personified that for us here at the River. I know that it always takes a village to achieve phenomenal success. Who are some of the unsung heroes, colleagues of your world, and tell us what they do that help you?
Yeah. I think it starts I'm just going to be honest, like it starts with my parents. My work ethic came from my dad. My dad worked, he just recently retired, but he worked jobs and did whatever. He worked a third shift job and went to college at the same time I was going to college, so he could change his career and do different things. My mom was a Tupperware salesperson, and she was a nationally recognized Tupperware salesperson and stood on stage. And so growing up, like she just sold, and like that's what I knew. And then, coming into Broad River, and I mentioned it, but like the peers that I have and the people that I can compare myself to, they say comparison is the thief of joy, but it's also, iron sharpens iron. So you gotta be looking at someone and chasing something. And so I look at David Walters, I look at Sam Van Giesen, I look at Matt Bentonaro, what Jason Sessoms, and now the Willis brothers, right? We got some other guys, Jeff and Jason. There's some amazing talent we have that's growing and dominating. Mitch Dixon and Bonnie Powell. I mean, you can keep going on and on, but just really looking at that. And then the people that keep me grounded while I do this, like I have many conversations. I drive back and forth to Fayetteville, and so I have a lot of screen time with the windshield. So I have those conversations with Sam about what she's doing with her team, or David, or Mark Dooley, and having lots of conversations with him when he joined the team, and now leading the E team, and just different things that we can do, and conversations with and Jose Blanco, and talking to him about what our strategy is together and how we're going to lead the team.
Yeah, Jose's your co-pilot there in Fayetteville at the Special Forces, and helps lead the team there with you. You've always had this habit of this drive time of talking to your fellow colleagues. I remember just the stories of you and Michael, or you and Kevin Carlson, or someone, or you and Kinman always being on the phone strategizing for the day. And is that something you've kind of, I guess you like a long commute to have those phone calls, right?
I've had a long commute ever since for a long time. I did it with a different company as well, and it's something that, like, they talk about mindset and just getting yourself right for the day and different things, and even leaving work and going home and getting yourself right before you go home. And so that gives me that time to have those conversations and to plan out. And driving in today, talking to Ray Templeton, another guy used to work here, and another person to mentor and challenge me, and just having conversations with him about what he's doing and leadership and different things. Just for me, it's the thing that I can listen to the radio, and I love music, but I can also have the connection time and to communicate with people, and just plan out my day, plan out the thoughts, plan out what's going to happen. And then you mentioned early on it was, what am I doing? How do I do this?
Yeah,
And just having those conversations, the teaching conversations about how to do something,
right,
before you get stuck in it or in the moment.
Yeah. I love just the relationship building and the connecting that comes through that. I didn't know you talked to the professor on the drive in today.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing well. We talked about advice earlier. You talked about some of the advice you've gotten. What is the best advice you've ever received?
I go to Rodney and take care of your people. And then I go to, when I was leaving CarMax, one of the greatest things I was ever shared is the manager had to tell, hey, I'm putting in my notice. I'm coming. I got a great opportunity. I got to leave. And Rita sent me down and said, the biggest thing I'm gonna be most sad for is that our company's not going to need to experience you and what you had to bring to the table. And that comment, like, it challenges you and motivates you daily. Like, what am I bringing? Like, am I bringing enough that's helping other people? Am I bringing enough that the company is value, like sees that value or feels that? So you kind of internalize that. So like not only taking care of your people, but also what am I bringing to the table? What value am I adding?
Mm-hmm.
And am I adding value for everybody around me?
Got it. And so what advice would you give to a new hire starting on the sales floor today?
Trust the process. I would definitely go with trust the process.
Learn the process first and then trust it.
Learn it and trust it.
Believe in it.
The C4 process, what comes first, beliefs or behaviors, do the behaviors and the beliefs will follow. And you'll start seeing the results of that. We have an amazing selling process and you see the success. Frank talked about it. Leah, Adrian will talk about it. Holly, like all the experts that I work with, like there's different parts of the process, like they just hone in on and it helps drive their success.
Yeah, I love that. That's great advice. It's worth repeating. What do you believe are the critical qualities or characteristics that most contribute to success on the sales floor for us?
You have to be personally driven to be successful. I think you have to understand and, when you're a successful salesperson, I think at times it's hard to admit that you need help. But our business is a TO business, a true opportunity business. And so the top writers still ask for help. The top writers still need TOs and need to pass it off or maybe not connecting well. And I think if you're talking to someone brand new, like don't undervalue the veteran help or the presence you have around you, but don't undervalue that TO and that process as well. Because, take that help and take that, because it's sometimes in different companies and different organizations I've been a part of, asking for help might have been something that was shunned upon or frowned upon, but not here, not at Broad River at all. Like, even as a senior GM, I can call and ask anybody for help. And I would say the same thing for an HFA. Ask for help. There's so many people around you that are willing to help. So
you really look for that quality that says, are they willing to reach out across the aisle or across the table and ask for help?
Absolutely. Looking for that self-motivated, but also understanding that it's okay to ask for help and then learn from it and grow from it.
Yeah, got it. If you could go back, not to your day one, but to your day zero, what would you tell your younger self about what life is going to be like at the river?
Everything that you see today is real.
Okay. And so I know we're biased. I want to shift to culture a little bit. We believe our culture at the river is unique and really special. So we've been recognized, as best furniture store in America, not just 1 year, but for the past 2 years. We had 5 of the top 20 stores in America ranked and recognized with that distinction last year, in 2021. And then we were just recognized in 2022 as one of the top 10 best places to work in furniture for the entire furniture industry. What does this designation mean or tell us about our culture?
I think it was important to come somewhere, if I was going to leave CarMax, to go somewhere with high culture. And that's what I got through the interview process, and it's something I got through the meeting and talking with people. Like, CarMax is a top 100 place to work as well, and it had been, at that time I was there for like 13, 14 years in a row. And so Fayetteville was one of those top 5 places. When I took over, Fayetteville was one of those top places that 5 in that year. And just knowing that you're a part of that and also helping continue that. Mm-hmm. And like, if you're going to leave someplace, like, I keep going back to it, is the culture real? Is it true? Like, are those like, yeah, it is. It really is like that. And the people are like that, and they do want to help you succeed. And like, there is mutual success and prosperity. So
you take great pride in that distinction and can see it continue. And you want to work at a place like that. I like that story. Like, if you were going to leave CarMax, which had that distinction, is only going to be somewhere else that had an equal or same or better type of culture. Yeah. What is your favorite thing about our culture here at the river? And in your opinion, what is it that makes our culture special?
It's not a thing that makes the culture special. It's the people that make it special. And it's everybody from top down. It's the
Why can't every company say that though?
because not every company is willing or going to do what we do. You know, you're the CEO, Charlie, and I can text you, and I could have texted you for the last 4 years. I've had your number, and like, who does that? What companies do that? Where you can just reach out to CEO if you have a question or concern. We do. If you have a need, we just came out of Operation 'Tis the Season, and our company chose, like, we don't have to do that, but we gave back to memory makers in need in our organization. We're part of, Hope to Dream and Green Chair Project and Beds for Kids, and like, we choose that. Our company, it's something that we're founded on, and we're going to continue to do that at the expense of other things. Like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stand on that. So that's like our leadership, our team, our people. Like, we're all part of that. The most volunteer hours ever this year.
Yeah.
People giving of their time, doing Card for St. Jude. I mean, literally, you can go on and on of all the things we do. It starts with leadership.
So maybe to paraphrase what you're saying is it's how we treat people. Got it. And what is something that happens here at the river that doesn't happen at other companies?
I think you'll hear about, we care about our people, but is it lived out daily? Is it just a here or there? But there's charity and philanthropic events we can go to, and there's different give backs, and there's like across the board. So I mean, it really does come down to, that's what makes it special, and it's the people every single day.
So people listening to you may form an opinion or a perception. So what is the one thing about Broad River that you think would surprise others from the outside looking in? What would be a misperception or something?
We talk about, and you've heard it repeatedly, like, it's the culture and the people, and it's great in the team, but that doesn't mean it's not work. And I think that's kind of a misperception. Like, it's work. Like, we don't go to easy, we go to work. And so you go to work every day.
Say that one more time. We don't go to easy, we go to work.
Yeah, we don't go to easy, we go to work. And it does take work. And there's a requirement of every single person that's part of this organization to go to work every day and to help support. And we get a lot of support from everywhere, from the REMs and the operations team and the delivery. Like, literally every department helps every department be successful. But everybody has to go to work.
Yeah. So if someone comes in with a perception that, hey, it's just, lollygagging or just all fun and games, it's
definitely not.
It's a blend. It's a good balance, but it's definitely, you're going to work. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you could change one thing about the company today with the wave of a magic wand, what would it be?
I think our REM group is the unsung group. And I think that you always talk about, can you pay them more? Can you do more? Like, but I really do believe that. I think that's an opportunity for us. It's something I've shared with the senior team. I'll share it on the podcast. They do a lot of work, and across all organizations, we have different comp plans. So I think that's something I would look at if I could just wave with a wand.
Okay. And now it's fully documented, guys. Can't hide from it. Let's see what we can do to raise the game for our REMs in 2023. And they are unsung heroes a lot of times, and they definitely help power our success. So let's say that I decided to retire and I gave you the keys to the company. You've earned the next promotion up. You're taking another few notches up or leaping like you just did when you took over Special Forces. You're the new president and CEO of Broad River Retail. And today, lucky you, is your first day in this new role. What would be your first order of business?
Looking to stay the course. We've had some great leadership. We've had phenomenal direction. So continue that path. And then see where I can add something to it. See if there's anything that of my personality, my style that I could add to it. But stay the course. We've been incredibly successful as an organization, and you don't fix a broken wheel.
Well, knowing you and the way you look at things, you've had success going into successful stores or locations, and have always made them better. So have no doubt you'd make it better. Okay, so goal setting. How important is goal setting, in your opinion, to achieving premier retail performance?
I think goal setting across all aspects. We mentioned my wife earlier, but Bridget and I, like, we set goals for what we're trying to accomplish as our family unit, and how we're going to go chase that down. That's and what really that cool. looks like, and then kind of break it down from there. And then going into, from a professional setting, it's, Chris Levenberg, Stacy, Jose, and I all sat down a few days ago, and we've already done the math and bottom up budget for what 2023 can look like, and what that means for the memory makers in our building and Special Forces in Fayetteville, and who's got to write what dollars, like literally breaking it down all the way, just stating that goal and like having it written down, and then forming a plan to go chase it down.
Got it. So we're recording this just before Christmas in December 2022. And as you prepare for 2023, when this episode will air, and you think about improving upon what has been a successful 2022, and you're doing this bottom-up budgeting for the store, how have you begun thinking about what will be some of your personal goals for next year?
Right off the bat, like I said, I'll have a few days off coming up for Christmas. So Bridget and I will kind of sit down and talk about what our goal is as a family. And kind of from a debt standpoint, from a house improvement standpoint, from what we're trying to accomplish or vacations or whatever that looks like. I learned that early on. If you don't plan even vacations or plan your time off, you'll never take it. And so I'm big on planning that. So we'll lay out that plan and get that organized. And then we'll sit down and really not only with Jose, but also with the sales managers and then each HFC and kind of like sit down and talk about what their goal is. Here's our company goal, like we'll get some sort of budget, but here's ours. Here's what we kind of done the math for, what we want to achieve. We're gonna shoot higher. And then what is yours and how's that going to play into that?
So going into 2023, there's a lot of talk right now about a recession of some sort, as well as thousands of layoffs that we continue reading about in the news. How will you combat those headwinds for your team?
Well, we went through the pandemic and we came out all right, and we're still thriving. So it's everything. It's all the work we've been putting in now with the C4 process, the behaviors and the different things that we're doing, the 3X draw the room and comfort tests and different things we're doing. It's all of those things are setting us up for future success and making that process easier for not only the HFC, but also for the guest to get into our buying ecosystem.
Okay. So you just went through a bottom-up budgeting process with Stacy and Chris and Jose. So I don't know if you're willing to share this or not, but what are some of the goals that you have for next year for the retail team in spite of the adversity and headwinds that we'll probably face?
We've laid out a plan of what it can look like for Fayetteville to do 18 million.
Wow.
And what that looks like we currently have 14 HFCs. So what that's going to look like, and then what SPG is needed for that. That's 625 for the year.
You've got it all mapped out.
So it's mapped out. So
Love it.
We'll go chase
That'll
it down.
be a very compelling year. And it'll probably stand above many other folks in 2023. So you heard it here first, guys. So what opportunities do you see specifically going into 2023?
So the first opportunity is, do we have the right head count? That's
Okay.
one of the things we looked at.
Yeah.
And really, is 14 the right number at that with current staff levels versus traffic and with where we're anticipating business to go?
And what are you most looking forward to in the new year?
I want to see the continued growth of all of the team there, and not only in Fayetteville, but also in Southern Pines. We've got new HFAs in Southern Pines. We just did some assessments this week. So JP Howman went from a sales manager consultant to a sales manager professional.
Oh, wow.
Samuel Simons went from an HFA to HFC. And then in Fayetteville, Ken just passed and crossed to HFA to HFC. But we also just hired on some amazing new talent, Michael Sanders and Lauren LaFollette and Daniel Patrick. So we're trying to add to restock and reload the team there in Fayetteville and keep it going.
I love it. I love the personal growth for each of the team members. You can quickly just read off there. So habits. What are some of the best habits that serve you well?
Planning and really from a business side, like we talked about the bottom-up budgeting and the planning that goes into that. I'm very analytical and a math person to the point where even Kate Razakova knows that. So she'll tell some of the candidates that I'm a math person. So they'll always come with me with numbers and things from their business. But understanding that and being able to share that knowledge and teach that out. So that's one of the habits, like going into a location, looking at opportunity, reading the scoreboard and scorecard, and then being able to help break that down. That's one of the things that every store I've been in and assessing, and then, okay, where can I add to?
Yeah, I can definitely see that skill set. I think that's a really good one. So personal growth, learning and development, I know you're doing some different things there. How do you sharpen your saw?
Yeah, so it's reading books, it's listening to podcasts, listening to people like Simon Sinek, like a phenomenal speaker, and just always trying to find different videos. You mentioned talking about VIP and leading those calls. So each week it's trying to find some sort of inspirational knowledge or a video or something to speak to and tie it to our message of VIP for that week and growth and development. And also currently working through soundtracks by John Acuff. It really resonated with me at the Leadership Summit that we attended. And then just carrying that book through and then going through the coursework as well and just changing some of those soundtracks for myself and for others.
Yeah, that's great. So soundtracks, and whether it's soundtracks or playlists, it's like what are the thoughts playing in your mind? If you control those thoughts, you can really change the trajectory of the course of your achievements, accomplishments, your life. It's winning that game. You talked about sales as a mental game earlier, so I'm sure that's probably why that book resonates with you a lot.
Absolutely, and just really getting thoughts or things dialed in to make sure that your thoughts will dictate your actions. So, and then it goes back to, I told you about Carl. What are you thinking about? You have to think about what you're thinking about when your energy and effort is low.
Well, I want to go back to a response you said earlier. Do you ever call your mom and ask her, like, hey, since you were the Tupperware, recognized national salesperson of the year, et cetera, I'm not exactly sure which award she won, but you ever ask her like what she does to kind of win the mental game?
Yeah, we actually talked about that early on in my sales career, and had a lot of conversations around that, and what that looks like cold calling or going into people's houses and just demoing something and having them buy it. And like, there's a lot of examples you can just take from that, especially in our industry, like product knowledge. You have to know about all the different Tupperware pieces and the lids and the different things that go with it. But then taking it here, like, you can't just show a sofa. Like, are you going to teach, romance the furniture and talk about all the things that go along with it, and really like study your craft. I mean, she was like, each presentation was different because sometimes she'd book different parties. They're called Tupperware parties. And the different parties off of one party. And so she couldn't do the same one over and over again. So she had to change it up and then demo new products, and she had to learn about it and then go teach it.
So she knew her product, and I'm sure she's really good at connecting.
100%. She grew her team. She built a team. She had a team of salespeople under her, and successful salespeople.
She's probably good at teaching and leading as well. Will she listen or watch this podcast?
I'll send her a link.
Okay, great. Yeah, my mom watches the podcast too, and my mom, I always have to give her a shout out because she was great with connecting with people, with others as well, and so we can learn a lot from our parents in many good ways. Okay, and it's always fun when we're starting to have success to kind of give them a shout out for that.
Absolutely.
As well. So I'm glad we got to kind of give your mom some accolades there. So let's go, like, what do you do for fun? When you stop working for the day and have some time for yourself or your family, what do you like to do for fun or just to relax?
Just wind down with Bridget and Lincoln. And then when I have Jaden and Juliana, my other children as well, and they're down here. I'm actually getting them in a couple weeks. So just really spend time with the family and just relaxing. We do a lot of stuff around the house. So it was Christmas time. So I've been putting up Christmas lights for the last few weeks. That's actually quite relaxing. And then just walking around the neighborhood and just getting a little bit of exercise in.
Are you guys still gamers? Are y'all still playing video games?
We still play. Definitely play some Fortnite with my son.
Okay.
Back in Michigan. And my daughter now, she's old enough, we let her play too. So the family, all four of us, get out and play. Okay, awesome. And what are you currently binge watching? We're currently working our way through Blue Bloods. There's a bunch of seasons. We're big into crime shows and like the Law and Order, NCIS, that kind of stuff. And so we're working our way through Blue Bloods. And what streaming network is that on? That's on, we're watching on Paramount Plus. Okay, got it. Maybe that's the best show on Paramount Plus. I'm not really sure. It's pretty good. Okay, we'll have to check that one out. Okay, final advice. To someone who is not a memory maker and is thinking of coming to the river, what advice would you offer to that person? I would say do it. And I have to give a shout out. I haven't talked about Bridget that much, but I do want to give her a shout out, right? We talked about that, like, are we going to do this? And there was a conversation we had together, and, it was the timing and all that. And I keep going back to that. Like, there was something there was special about that. There was special about the day zero. There's the constant work from our MMX team to make each day one special. And so, I think about that, and I think about that I had the partner and I had someone I could have that conversation with. And maybe it's not common you're going to hire a married couple together like that. But do it. Like, it is real. We talk about it. We are about it. Don't just talk about it, be about it. And like, we are that. And that's what Broad River is. And Broad River has changed my life. It's given me the opportunity to purchase a home and change homes and to grow my family and do different things. And it's not just one person in this company that does that. There's hundreds of stories that we can go back and talk about every single person that's had that same level of success. Well, I'm glad you had a chance to mention Bridget. She's a special person, a special leader, and you guys are a really special couple. And I love the way you talk about your relationship and your marriage and how you guys kind of go through life together. It's awesome. Hey, Josh, this has been a lot of fun. Before I let you off the hot seat, I asked a few folks about you, and I'd love to just kind of read a few of their comments. And some of these printed on a really low font for whatever reasons. I'll have to squint here. This is from Jose Blanco. I have only one word for J-Train: amazing.
in all caps, by the way, in all aspects, as a leader, as a family man, and as a friend. And Samantha Van Giesen, she said, Josh is a retail warrior. He totally gets our business and what it takes to win. He's proven that at every store he's been in. And Chris Levenberg, who recently joined us, I'm so blessed to have Josh on my team. He's a great leader, and his passion for driving the business is contagious. I know anytime Josh has a goal in his sights, he is fanatical and relentless towards exceeding it, especially as it comes to finding the best gas station snacks.
That's right.
What's that inside joke?
If you need a place to go eat, it's called Wedgie's, Southern Pines. It's amazing restaurant attached to a gas station in Southern Pines.
Okay, awesome. And then I got one here from Manny. What a blessing to have welcomed Josh and his wife Bridget to Broad River. We had been recruiting Bridget for several years, and I love that she thought enough about us to refer and recommend Josh. Josh continues to be a strong retail leader focused on learning and building a high-performing team. He is a competitor and loves to win, and we are thankful to have him on our Broad River team and family. Continued success, Josh. Hey, Josh, there's one more topic. Do you have anything else you wanted to say that you haven't said yet?
Mamba mentality?
Yeah, we haven't talked about Kobe and what Kobe Bryant and the Mamba mentality. So I would have regrets if we didn't talk about what Mamba mentality means to you.
Yeah, it's kind of two things. Like Manny said, I love winning, and I appreciate that, and that's some great sentiment there. I appreciate what everybody had to say, but it really is. I hate losing more than I love winning, and so there's more to that. Like I don't want to lose, and there's more drive with that. And then I'm really driven by one quote specifically with Kobe and the Mamba mentality is greatness isn't for everybody, and that's okay. Not everybody can be great because not everybody is willing to do what it takes to be great. And so it's just going back to thinking am I doing what I need to do to be great? Am I doing what I need to do for my team to be great? And just continue to dial into that, and just really thinking about everybody's growing up. Everybody is great. Not everybody's willing what it takes to do, and everybody's willing to do that. And so you really have to focus on that. And like I said, you don't go to easy, you go to work. And so you got to put in the work, you got to put in the time, you got to put in the effort and energy. And in our company specifically, the energy and effort and work is rewarded.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad we got into this. We always try to come up with a creative title for these episodes, but Mamba mentality might be like the phrase that we have to kind of key off of there. And I think that'd be the perfect personification of how you approach your craft, how you approach life. And so Josh, it's just been an honor to have you here on the podcast, to be able to share your story. Thank you for making the drive here to Charlotte to sit with us and get us a two-parter here. And so guys, that is the Josh Stanley episode part 2. Josh, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey guys, we try to bring you fresh new content every Wednesday morning. So wherever you listen, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, or watch if it's on YouTube, that's why we record these. So wherever you get your content, we'd love it if you would just mash subscribe so you don't have to go search for it every week. It just pops right into your feed, or mash that like button, or hey, leave us a comment. Tell us how we can get better. And it's an honor to bring you guys fresh new content. I guess this is going to go into season 2. We're starting a new year and a new season of Stories from the River, and we'll try to figure out how we can make it better. Josh, thanks again. Thanks so much.
Thank you.